is in your journey that you want to make sure you share, like just talk to me. So
take your time if you need to, like.
Oh yeah, and we edit. So yeah,
like
just
pause or edit, because I edit all the breaks and all that stuff out.
Okay, cool. That works for me. So if I just in the middle, be like, "Yo, bars, son." You can edit that out.
I might leave that in for the YouTube though.
We might leave that.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Ground Up Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron, and this is
Keisha Rock.
And this is episode 34.
All right, you already know what to do. Sit back, listen, learn, and be inspired. Today, we're bringing you Rylan Lammar Jones, Director of Deliciousness and Chief Pop Master. We could also just say owner of Lammar Marie Gourmet Popcorn. Welcome, Ryland.
Hello.
Did you like that intro?
I like the little sound effects too.
You gotta keep
We're working on it.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. End of the day for me, but I still feel pretty good. I'm kind of energized. Like I feel
your energy. Yeah, before the show, like we were talking, I feel it. I'm vibing off of it. I like it. I hope y'all are gonna feel it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm just a big kid.
You just a big kid.
Always like, yeah.
Always on 100.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So give us a little background. Tell us, like, are you Richmond native or where you from?
No, I'm not Richmond native. Honestly. I did like my elementary school in Baltimore.
Okay.
We moved down to Fredericksburg.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a bunch of family up there. Like my family split between like Baltimore and Fredericksburg area.
Right.
So, we moved down to Fredericksburg. I did, middle school, high school there. Then I left for the Air Force.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did six years in there, like all over the place. Then moved back for a while, and then I decided like down here seemed like a really good place to be, like in this area.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, we love Richmond. We love our home.
Hey, look, Richmond love Richmond.
That's right. Richmond love Richmond.
Yeah, that's the one thing I learned, being open down in this area is that Richmond love Richmond. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, we go hard for our VA, y'all.
Hey, you're right.
All right, so tell us what led you to entrepreneurship. So you were in the Air Force. So what happened when you decided to come home?
I mean, I didn't know it was called entrepreneurship when I was a kid, and I don't think my parents did or anything either. I just knew I don't know, man. I can't even put like a defining one moment. I was like, okay, this is whatever. I just knew, and maybe it was just birthed out. We wasn't like straight up, I don't want to paint the picture like it was this big poverty thing that we had. Right. It wasn't really, but we've had reduced lunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just remember man, I can do this thing. Like in the 5th grade, even I was like, I had one pair of sneakers I would get them at the beginning of the school year. They was white. This was back when sneakers was all like leather, the whole sneaker. We didn't have all this crazy fabric. And I was like, I got to make these shoes look good for the whole till Christmas and beyond. So I used to buy the little, the dye and clean them up.
Oh, wow.
And keep them. And then kids would be like, man, your shoes always clean, Rylan. And I'd be like, yeah, well, I clean your shoes for $8.
Okay, hustler.
Okay.
So other kids used to give me their sneakers, and I used to clean the laces, put them back in there real nice. And, kids would pay me for that. And it was just for whatever reason in my head, it was I was always like, what can I do to make money off of my fellows? I used to, you ever made a ring out of a dollar bill? You can fold a dollar bill a certain way
and make it into
a ring. So I used to charge people $1 to fold their dollar into a ring so they could.
Okay. All right. So we get it. So it was just kind of born into you. Like you just had this entrepreneur spirit. Yeah, this natural hustler spirit. And so
it seems like it. My grandma used to do little stuff on the side, uncles and stuff. So little pieces of it was there. I didn't know that's what it was called.
Right.
Or for whatever reason, it just kept calling me.
Yeah.
So even in the Air Force, I used to hustle stuff. All
Really?
this active.
Oh,
Yeah.
in the force at or doing the hustle. Okay.
Yeah, man.
So pick up when you decide to leave the Air Force.
Um, I felt then I knew, being an entrepreneur, like I knew the word, I knew what it felt like. Like I want to be a business owner. Um, and I was overseas, I was stationed in England, and I was like, man, I just feel like it was when I got out, it was like I still love the Air Force,
Mhm.
but I just feel like, man, I need to get out and chase this business owner thing. Like
Gotcha.
that's what I felt super
It
drawn
was
to
a
do.
calling.
And if like I never really was like, oh, I need to get out and get a job. Like I had saved up a bunch of money. I was like, so when I get out, I'm gonna try this thing for I have enough money for 12 months of like a tight budget living before I
Right.
actually have to get a job because I want to try this thing. Um, and we tried some stuff and we bit it hard.
So who
Like
is
we
we?
I had one of my like really, really good friends named Andre Calla. He passed away several years ago. He had a rare cancer.
Mm,
But that was like there was a small group of us in high school. Like that was we still like there was five of us. There's four left now, right?
mm.
Andre was the fifth, and he's that hustler too,
Mm.
right? So we were like, man, let's do something. Let's like promote parties or talent shows. Or and he was like, man, let's just do this concert. So we was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, we're gonna do this concert.
This is what I love. This is what I love about learning from entrepreneurs is that when you start digging in their background, you realize they're hustlers. They've
Yeah,
been doing this, like this is something that comes for it takes a lot. This journey is hard.
Right.
We're working on it now. It's hard, but
yeah.
it's something that you kind of have to have in you,
You have to because when you fail, the ones that's like got that true spirit and that grit, when you fail, they like, all right, that like I crashed on that thing. What's my like? All right, what's my next thing? And like
Exactly.
Mhm.
that's what
That's
happened.
just you just ruling something out. All right, that
Yeah,
didn't work. All right, what's the next step? What am I going to go on to next year?
Yeah,
yeah,
because
you're exactly right. You lining through that thing like that's not the thing,
right.
Exactly.
right? Like and I feel like if you like they got that entrepreneur spirit and you like feel really drawn to it, like that's in your spirit. Like if you work for somebody else, you hate it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It
Like
bothers you. It's just it's
like
like
anytime I had to work with somebody else, I'm like hate. And it could be a good job. Like people around you, like, why you don't like where it's a good job? I worked in the government for 7 years, right?
I don't want to be here.
Yeah. And they were like, you got the good government job, don't you? No, I hate it. I'm gonna quit, but I got bills.
Exactly.
Like it was like you when you have that spirit in you, you always looking for like what's the thing I can really latch on to and do well at. um,
Yeah.
Push through because we lost like I mean I've lost several times.
Right.
A
That's
couple.
important to talk about though. Let's talk about that though, because you got to try in order to, like I said, it's like crossing something off the list. So you
Yeah,
got to take risks and sometimes they don't land, but it does in a way still get you closer to where you need to be?
yeah,
So
exactly.
like, what was that like when you were, having those entrepreneur startups and working towards something that didn't work out? Like, where was your mind at when that happened?
My mind was like, damn,
Rylan.
like I'm broke again.
Oh,
That's how I felt like because sometimes you lose so big and you start reevaluating. You like, all right, well, it's not really for me. Like, maybe I am supposed to just work a regular job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when we lost, we were like, all right, we're gonna do. I've had a couple like significant losses that doing that concert was one. And this is you don't have social media. Like this was, 2005 or 2006.
yeah, social media just started for
Yeah.
real, for real. Like,
Yeah,
Can
we had
I
not.
just cut in with a little story? You telling me about this party loss, Aaron? I hope you don't get mad.
no,
But
see, stop.
but it just makes me
Ah,
flashback to when Aaron and I were dating, and he threw this. Well, him and his friends, got this
same story.
got
Same
this
story.
entrepreneur mindset. They threw this party, and it was like the stripper party, like male strippers. And
Yeah,
I came and I brought all my friends, and we had this great time. And at the end of the night, Aaron was so pissed. I was up in there having a good time, and he didn't make no money. It was a huge
yeah,
loss.
yeah. When those things happen, you just like, I did all this.
It's an L. You took an L.
You take the L and you gotta like, the L to me, that just stands for lumps. I don't take it as like a super
Oh, I
lump.
like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
and as I got older, I realized it was more of a lesson behind that loss there. You know what I'm saying? But going through it, man, I wanted somebody neck. Like I was mad. Like I was mad.
I had a good time.
It's the whole mindset thing, man. When you take that L, aka that lump or that lesson, like you got to learn from it. It's a whole lot of L's with that L. Like the people that's not really built for the entrepreneur like life for real, I
Mhm.
think they look at that L as a loss. That's all they see.
Yeah,
Right.
it's all perception, y'all. Perception.
Yeah, you gotta and I'm not saying that my mindset was like always like it is now,
Yeah.
but you still gotta stay positive. Like we just lost. Like that first thing we was gonna have this, we gonna do this we like, all right, we gonna get this when Life Jennings first came out.
Mm.
Okay.
We like bet we're gonna do a Life Jennings concert. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this outdoors, right? We're gonna do an outside festival style concert. Life Jennings gonna headline. It's gonna be dope, right? Raheem Devon had just come kind of out in DC. He was a big name. We're like, yeah, that's gonna be cool. Let's put Raheem Devon on there. Cool.
Right.
So then Life Jennings people was like, no, he's not ready to headline. We like, this is a small market. It's not really a headline. So they
Right.
were like, you gotta get somebody else. So we're like, all right, who's cheap? So we got Jagged Edge, right?
Got who?
So Jagged Edge. Remember them?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we like, all right, this gonna be hot. Jagged Edge, Life Jennings, and Raheem Devon.
Yes, no, for real. That's gonna be hot.
Yeah, you would think so. We did it in Fredericksburg. Huge mistake.
You should have done it in Richmond.
Listen, we were running ads on radio in DC, and they were like, will you please just move this to DC? We
Yes.
were like, no. Because part of the thing was like, we had to show on top of, the entrepreneur thing, like we want to make it. This is what we want to do and build. Like we didn't have families yet, but we were trying to build something. Also, it was like, we weren't the best high school students. So it was like, we need to show like this area, because also it's Fredericksburg. It's a certain,
Yeah.
a certain stigma if you're trying to gather a lot of black folks in the same place at the same time.
Absolutely.
Right? In 05, 06, it was a lot. So, we ran into a lot of bumps with people trying to block us from even doing it. But we were like, look, we can do it. Just let us do it. We was trying to prove something in the area too, on top
Right.
of
I feel you.
the business.
Yeah.
Man, it poured down raining.
Oh man.
Wow.
Some people still came out because it eased up. So here's the biggest L I've taken so far. We lost like $90,000.
Shut, Rylan. No.
Yeah.
Oh no, Aaron didn't take an L like that, y'all.
Yeah.
No, they won't like that. Shit. I wouldn't
If
have married him. It was like, oh my God.
if it was that loss, I would have had somebody neck that night. I'm promise you that. Wow.
Rylan. Okay, let's switch this up now. Let's talk about the win. Let's talk about Lammar Marie Gourmet Popcorn. How did it come to life?
Same thing. It's like, let me just find out what's cool. Like how can we serve people in a cool way? I had a DJ business for 12 years doing weddings.
Okay.
Like
that was a hit for you then.
Oh yeah, that was a big win. We did, it started off just me. Chris came on later. I had a couple of sisters. Like we used to crush it. We used to just weddings was my thing. I did club stuff too, but we just.
So once you had that successful wedding DJ business, was moving towards Lammar Marie like less doubtful? Did you have that confidence behind you now?
Yeah, I did. I had too much.
Oh, stop it.
Exactly.
I didn't expect you to say that.
I had too much. So, because Lamar was like, man, what's cool? Popcorn's cool. Where's a good place? We looked all over. And from not being down here, we looked all over, but we really didn't know where we were looking when we were looking all over.
Right.
Okay.
And then we landed out in Short Pump. Like, it was just one of those days we walked into space and I was like, yo, this is space.
Yeah.
Can we make this deal happen? In the first couple of years, it was hard. Like on a monthly basis, I was like, are we even going to exist next month? Like the first couple of years, like, I don't even know if we're going to be here in 60 days. You know what I mean? Now, what can we do to avoid that? Like what hustle, now we got to click.
So let's talk about that. Let's slow down.
Yeah.
So the first couple of years were hard. And the reason I say let's talk about that, because our audience is filled with people who are just building from the ground up in their life, people building from the ground up in businesses, but we have a lot of small business owners who listen and who are right in that stages where it's those hard years.
Right.
So what did you do to turn things around and how did you survive mentally? I'm all about, that mental too.
Yeah, I mean, the mental part is super tough because you got people around you, that talk a lot of trash because it's not you. You could talk about what you want to do to people around you, and then they might buy into the idea. And then when you start and it doesn't go the way that you hoped it would go, like their whole thing changes because too, if you're not making money, money make people trip. If you owe somebody money, get somebody drunk or owe 'em money, then you see how their attitude really is. You're gonna see the true person, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alcohol and money bring out the true person.
Oh, that's so true.
You know what I mean? So I'm getting all kind of text messages that, you shouldn't send another person. I mean, just straight malicious from the get-go because it just wasn't moving like we thought it would move. So on top of the fact, like, man, should we even keep going? Are we digging the hole deeper or are we, filling the hole in? And sometimes you're in that gray area where you're not really sure which one of those things you're doing.
Right.
Mhm.
And you don't know until it's like 2, 3, 4 months later, really. You in the moment you don't know.
It's a lot of faith you got to go out, you got to work on.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it was, faith. Some of it was numbers first, and then
Yeah.
I had a mentor that's like, burn that thing down. Like,
abort.
Are you serious? Really?
yeah, they were like, you learned all the stuff. Like, I didn't know how to do. I'm not a culinary background person. You learn all the stuff, and I'm not afraid to learn. When I told people like, oh yeah, I'm gonna open the popcorn store. Do you know anything about? No, but I'm about to learn it right
About
quick.
to find out.
Yeah, let's learn it and let's go. But this dude was like, look, you already learned everything. Maybe you should just burn that down and start over somewhere else. And like, it's easy for him to say as a mentor because he has a thriving business.
Right.
And it's some of those
for him to let some of his little bad decisions go when you already got some solid foundation down.
Yeah.
Were you all in on this? Like, did you have any other form of income?
No, I stopped doing what I was doing.
Okay.
To do this.
So that would have been a huge thing to just let it go. Like,
yeah, it would have been massive. Plus, I mean, we took funding from other people. So that's
gotcha. That's what I was leading on to when you were talking about other people and how they react to money. I gotcha.
Yeah. So when you mean by funding with other people, so like,
is that like Kickstarter or is that
crowdfunding?
No, this is just private money.
I gotcha.
So you got a group of people that wanted to invest in the business with you?
Yeah. Some of it was loan based.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to structure it so that it, we weren't giving away too much of the company.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
You
Shark Tank taught me about that.
Shark Tank life right there.
Yeah. And that's how it was. Plus, a part of just the structure of the business, and I don't want a lot of people trying to tell me what to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I had a partner already when we first started. There were two of us. But now it's just me because it's hard, and you got to make that decision. Like, and you had to make that decision. Like, do I want to?
I'm gonna probably edit this out because, but I was wondering about that because I was on your website and it said you were the co-owner and that you had a business partner, but like when I reached out, nobody mentioned that, so I'm like, huh. So it is just you now. Yeah, when did that change happen? And if you want me to edit this out, I will.
No, because I'm not gonna it's not a
it's not a thing. It's just a business move.
It's not. I don't badmouth, whatever people. We make our decisions. In the moment, it was probably some anger, like you talk about
the transition.
If
we transition that deals with money.
Yes,
it's a sticky thing.
It is.
It is.
So, at the end of all that, I wanted to keep going. I felt like if we just made a couple different moves, it would take a little bit. It would take longer than we had initially had anticipated. But like, okay, it wasn't going to turn around in 3 months or 5 months. But if we did this pivot a little bit and focus on, these two things in 12 months, this is a whole different picture,
mm-hmm.
right? But you got to stick that. You got to stick that 12 months out. but we had already stuck out 24 months. You know what
I
I mean?
understand.
18 months. So saying another 12, you know.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's
Yeah.
pick up on that pivot though, because you're doing it. I mean, it's happened. So what did you do? How did you pick this up and be like, I'm gonna turn this around?
We we looked at some of the, like a lot of this stuff is people too. I really want to harp on that. My philosophy is like, if you treat people, nice, and you try to build relationships, and you're not always looking for something for somebody else, and you just do as much like kind of like giving as you can, um, for whatever the circumstance, like that stuff really pays off in a way that you don't really know at the time, which is why it's important.
I'm sorry. I just cannot agree with that more. And I'm so
like
glad you said
100%.
that. We talk about that all the time. It's about building relationships, y'all. Building relationships is the top thing you can do as just honestly as a person. If
As
you're
a
trying to
person,
move through
yeah.
life,
Right.
those relationships, those people you come encounter with, leave an impression. Be you, be your authentic self and be kind. Be
Yeah.
real,
Yeah, be kind. That's all it is. You hit the nail on the head. And we as humans struggle with that from time to time.
We do.
But
We do.
but yeah, but overall, like it really was that. You just run into these people. We used to do off-site events, so we do festivals, we've done state fairs, like, and when it's time to hustle, the other thing is how far are you willing to go?
Right.
How far are you willing to go? And are you building relationships on the way? Because people are like, well, what are you going to do? And I just like, where are these events? We know we do well at events. This was the first big pivot. We know we do well at events if it's the right kind of event. And it took us a little bit to find out what the best fit was for events.
Right.
So then we start doing like all these craft shows, and you
Gotcha.
meet other vendors. Like they have a gourmet food section at some craft shows. So like, and then other people start talking about other events, and I was like, we were doing the state fair, and to do another vendor, state fair is 10 days. So you meet people, you befriend them, and this dude, man, he was a crazy, ridiculous salesperson. Like, and I was like, man, I'm just watching this dude sell these little rags that clean windows without water. Right. Right. And I'm just watching him all day. He was like an angle of days straight. I'm watching this dude for like 10 hours.
I remember those dudes too. I went to a job interview for one of them one time.
I can't.
The one, if you want to know, like, this is really, I worked sales at a car insurance or like an insurance place before. So they taught sales.
Right.
That like elevated my sales. But being at events like the state fairs and stuff, and watching these other pitchmen, that's what they do. They just travel and pitch. Right? Man, let me tell you. But this dude was like, hey, I heard this other event in Indiana. You trying to do it? I'm like, when is it? He like, it starts Wednesday after the state fair ends on Sunday. And I'm like, man, and he hyped it up. And this is like, how far are you willing? I took my truck, got a U-Haul trailer, packed it full of popcorn, and I drove to Indiana, no place to stay.
Oh my
I wasn't even really signed up officially for the event. I just had a phone call with the promoter.
Okay.
You was on the way.
Yeah. And the dude was like, when you get there, call me. It's no cell service there though. And I like, it's in the middle of nothing. Like,
call him.
Same thing I said. I was like, look, man. So I'm walking around. I had to walk the grounds looking for this guy. When I got there, I slept in my truck for 9 days.
Stop it, Rylan. Please tell me this added up to a success.
It added up to something. Like how you define. We didn't lose.
Okay, you didn't lose.
Because the store was like struggling. That was part of the store. So every day I'm taking the sales, right? Whatever wasn't electronic, and like stashing and trying to send it back on Western Union.
Right.
My partner can like get the money.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And try to do stuff. So I got a inflatable mattress. Like I have a Suburban, and it fit right in the back if you got the seats down. So at night I got a little converter for the plug in the truck. At night I kicked it on, blew the mattress up.
Hey, when I'm not feeling motivated, I'm gonna start asking myself, what would Rylan do?
It was, I was like, man, this is how much I believed in this can be the thing that sets up like the family. Like at the time, both our families, right? This is the thing. And if it takes me being the dude, that got to sleep in the truck for 9 days. I'll be the dude sleeping in the truck for 9 days. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
I'll take the heat because some of it was like, I got 2 boys that don't live with me. They live with their mom. Like, so every other weekend we got them. Like, I miss weekends with them. I'm like, this is the thing. You try not to, but when you're trying to build, it's like you try to hope they understand that during the build, like, we're going to miss stuff. But the reward could be like astronomical. But even if it fails, like, I hope that it's a lesson. Like, even if it fails, you can't be afraid to try because somebody else told you it's probably not going to work. The numbers don't work, so it's not going to work. Something else not going to work, so it's not going to work. Like, I can find excuses all day.
Right.
But it's just moments like that. Like, you gotta do it, driving all over the place. When I say all over the place, like, where you do events? As far north as North New Jersey, as far west as Indianapolis. I did the Indiana State.
Wow.
20 days out there, right? Jacksonville, Florida, back up here and everything, like anywhere in between I could find a place. Like, we just want to sell popcorn. That's it.
So how do you feel like, so let's talk about today where you're at now. Are you happy?
Yeah.
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 It was worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it because, I mean, are we like where I want to be? No, but we're like light years.
See it. Yeah.
You see, we're like, okay. You're like,
that road open up a little bit more clear.
yeah, because you meet people all along the way that help you out. Like, I met a dude that he have a tea company up in Northern Virginia. He's like us. His trade is satellite engineer. Super smart dude.
Right.
He don't want to do that though. He want to make tea.
Exactly.
So his
Exactly.
nerd brain though is like he's still an engineer in his head.
Right.
So the stuff I was like, man, I'm hitting this wall with XYZ. He's like, oh, have you tried this?
Like, real
nope,
quick.
didn't
like,
think about that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, no, I haven't tried this.
But yeah, it does. And that's what I'm learning, Rylan. Like, I'm so glad we're emphasizing this on this episode is the power in building relationships.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is what keeps you going. I mean, I'm a believer too. So I also believe that God works through people.
Yeah.
So I feel like those relationships sometimes can be life-changing,
It is. And I feel the same way. Like, God certainly puts people like in your life. I feel like that should be there, whether short period or long period. Like I mentioned, Chris. I met Chris at church. Chris was an audio dude. I started going to church. I had an old girlfriend who kept begging me to go, and I was like, I am not going.
But look, she was putting your life for a reason. Look at you.
Yeah, yes. So, and I started going. I met Chris when I volunteered on the audio team, and that was it. And then me and Chris been like super tight since then.
Yeah.
You know, that was 8-9 years ago. And he's got that spirit too. Like, he can't work with somebody else. We on top of the fact that we feel like we got to do our own thing, we stuck as employees. We just do.
Right.
I don't know how I haven't got fired more time. Like, I've never been fired, and I'm shocked.
All right, Rylan, let me ask you this. So when you think about your journey, what is the key takeaway you want listeners to take from your experience building Lammar Marie or your whole entrepreneurship journey, honestly?
I think the 2 biggest things, one, follow your heart and head what you want to do, and don't let other people kind of deter you because they don't think it'll work, but they never tried it. Right? They never built a house. Don't ask them how to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So if you want to talk it out, but not because you're looking for approval or like, any of that stuff.
Right.
And then number 2, just be prepared to go, like, to just grind it out and know that even if it's an L, it's not a loss. Like, it's the lesson. You got to learn something. Like, a lot of it maybe sounds like kind of cliche, but it is what it is. People say it for a reason.
I know. I feel that way too. Like, some of it is so cliche, but it's so real. It's so light.
Right.
Yeah. Like, you have to, man. You can't you can't build something, and whether you build it straight scratch, like Lammar Marie is almost straight scratch. Like, this is a brand that I was like, this is what I want the brand to be. Of course, there's other popcorn. We didn't invent gourmet popcorn.
Right.
We invented Lammar Marie and how we want to be as a brand. Right? So I can't let anybody else like put all the nonsense into it and move me off
your vision.
Yeah, like that's it. And then you got to be ready to go.
Gotta be ready
Like,
to
and
go.
you got to get hyped about the journey and
Gotta
not
get
the
hype
end.
about the journey.
The people that's just hyped about the end, you will fizzle. They fizzle out. They go back to work with somebody else and complain about it.
Because don't we realize, y'all, at the end of the day, I mean, it really is all a journey. There is no end point until the day we die, right? So, I mean, we think because as soon as you hit that goal you've been searching for, you want more.
You
You
got
search
another
for,
goal.
yeah, you search for, and it might not be more. I shouldn't say more, but you level up. You start striving for the next thing, you know? And so that's why slow down, enjoy life, enjoy the journey, learn about yourself, love others.
Yeah.
Like we're here for, we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Rylan, you ready for the game?
Man, yeah, let's do
Do it. All right. Would you rather this or that? This or that? Comedy show or karaoke?
Comedy show.
Comedy show. I'm with you. Would you rather create a video game or create an app?
App.
An app? Okay.
Okay.
This or that? Milkshake or smoothie?
Milkshake.
Milkshake. Me too. Aaron's a smoothie guy. Would you rather give the best gift or get the best gift?
Give the best gift.
Give the best gift. Me too. I like that. All right, Rylan, how can the listeners reach you?
Let's see. Lammar Marie is on everything that people are on. So
All the things. Instagram, basically.
Everything.
Instagram, Facebook, everything's just at Lammar Marie. Twitter is Lammar Marie Pops. But I'll be real, we're not really on Twitter.
I know. None of us really are anymore.
Nobody's on Twitter.
Aaron and I met on Twitter, but we don't tweet anymore.
I mean, there's tons of people on Twitter. I don't know anything about it. And then like my personal page is at Rialand Jones on Instagram. And that's where you can find us unless you come to the shop and we in here popping.
Yeah, they got a brick and mortar. Go in there if you're local.
That's right. If you're local, come on in, get the Lammar Marie experience, come to the tasting room, and let's see what we do.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I think it was another dope episode. I hope y'all were listening, learning, and being inspired.
Thank you guys so much for having me on too. I love it. I like y'all a lot.
We like you too.